Neo Planet S.
And here we go, spawning down in the bottom left-hand corner of Neo Planet S, the blue Protoss player representing the evil geniuses. It is Oz. Where's the Adebisi zoom? There it is. I think instead of calling it a zoom, we should just call it Do the Adebisi.
You're gonna make an awesome YouTube video.
Yeah.
Just
Do the Adebisi.
Man, we can actually
music
make
video and just zooming in and out.
like as the next hype round for like the final 8, we're just gonna zoom in on all 8 players on their workers, and we call it the Do the Adebisi. That's a new segment. We actually got a couple of crazy segments for you guys lined up as well, which of course we can't really spoil the mystery too much.
I think if we get enough positive reception to Terry the intern, we might have to do one where I'm the intern for the day and Terry gets to boss me around. Up in the top right-hand corner of Neo Planet S, Oz's opponent, his teammate, the Red Zerg player, Evil Geniuses Jaedong. Do the Adebisi. Oh, that's like a twist on the Adebisi.
Well, if Adebisi was here, man, we'd see the behind of an extractor. Only Adebisi can do that.
Adebisi can do like complete circles and he just keeps spinning.
Of course, guys, we see Oz going off with the Great Way Expand, which is surprising because if there was one map where Forge Fast Expand, in my opinion, is still pretty damn good, it's often Neo Planet does, or at least a lot of players still like to do it on this map. But Gateway Expand is becoming so popular, almost every Protoss is doing it, and I don't think that Jaedong will be surprised in scouting it.
Yeah, I think Gateway Expand is super common. I think it opens up a lot of very difficult to deal with timings, and I think it's so incredibly safe. Like I just, in Wings of Liberty, this is a punishable build. In Heart of the Swarm, it's just not anymore. And does it boil down to the Mothership Core? Is that
a couple of things, but above all, it also depends a lot on what Protoss scouts and how they react. Like in a certain way, this can still be a very greedy build if you don't scout it in time, and if you don't get any scout off. Like there are a couple of really quick speed builds, or just like a silly, a lot of slow link builds, which can definitely slow Protoss down so much. But dealing damage is one thing, like killing your opponent is another. And if you make a crazy amount of links while you're on 13 drones, yeah.
Well, that is a good point, Kev. We can see that Oz didn't bother scouting at all. So had Jaedong done something really crazy like gas pool, then how in the world is he ever going to defend that?
And it's going to be speed at like the 5-minute mark, and if you don't have a wall of then in time, if you do have the wall up on top of your ramp, you'll be fine regardless. Because then, even though it's going to be hard to take the natural, etc., etc. But
something else that Oz skipped was the Zealot.
He had it in production for a while,
and he canceled it. Now 4 Lings are going to run across and put a little bit of pressure on this Nexus. Probe is going to take a lot of damage, but not going to go down. Now, I don't think that there's any way Jaedong can actually kill that Nexus, and I think he realizes that, so instead he's just going to go to work on this pylon. Yeah. And losing this pylon is very annoying, but, well, the Mothership Core might be able to save it.
Did Jaedong sacrifice a Ling? Yes, he did. He sent one Ling into the main base, so he got that one probe.
He killed that happy little probe.
And the Ling is still alive as well. This is quite an annoying opening for Oz. Of course, not the end of the world losing a probe, but still the fact that there was a Ling in your base, that you lost a probe, it's just all a little frustrating. And above all, you want to make sure that your build doesn't get thrown off, that you don't forget something that's very important, but that doesn't seem to be the case.
So Jaedong, meanwhile, has gone up to 2 bases. He's continuing to drone very, very aggressively, getting that early Zergling speed, which is incredibly normal against these kind of gateway openings. You have to have that Ling speed just to be able to answer to some of the bizarre gateway timings that are made possible by the much faster cybernetics core, much faster warp gate tech.
One probe is heading out north right now, Ben, and this was indeed very, very quick warp gate tech. I mean, we can see Chronoboost going down as well. He's still rallying probes over, so I guess we're going to see Oz be a little fancy, perhaps, just with 3 gateways, just warping in a couple of units, trying to slow Jaedong down.
Look at this route that this probe is taking. It goes up and then down into the middle.
This is such quick warp gate, by the way. He spent at least 2 Chronoboosts on it. Now another gate is going down, so it's just going to be some 4 gate pressure, 5 gate pressure. Even.
So Oz said that he likes to play sniper builds, and looks like he is.
There's no +1 though, so if Jaedong scouts this in time, just links can be good enough. I do not think that Oz. Well, actually, 3 sentries. He must use these 3 sentries, no? There's no way you want to make a gateway build while having 3 sentries at home. But how is he going to get those 3 sentries secretly around the map?
Well, I mean, maybe after he kills this Ling, there's nothing else.
Okay, that was a really good scout by Jaedong. He saw the 3 sentries. Now he sees the 2 additional sentries as
so
well.
now Jaedong knows exactly what's up. Immediately we see 10 Lings in the production tab. Double Evo chamber on the way for Jaedong. He's got no Roach Horn.
And I would like to point out that Oz is doing this from 32 workers. 2 more are in production right now, but he's very low on economy. So Oz...
Happy Ling gets in, Kev.
Oz is... There is a Zergling in my natural.
Well, he's going to kill a probe. Oh!
Okay, man, focus on the most important things. This is a lot of force field. Oh, Oz has to be so careful. He cannot afford to lose sentries. He's going to lose the first sentry immediately. Well, he did pick off 3 links. It's all going to come down to force muse and how well will Jaedong be able to defend this. I actually think he should be fine. How many queens do we have? We have 3 queens.
It's going to be close, man. The Zealots are going to be very hard to deal with in force field. It really all comes out of those force fields. There's some pretty good ones, and Jaedong is forced to disengage. No spine crawlers, no roaches. Where are you going, Oz?
Chasing those links. Mothership Core takes a little bit of damage. Be careful. I love how Jaedong is just setting up links already all around the map.
Yeah,
Can these
Jaedong's
links
just
sneak
gonna
into the
counter.
main base? No, they cannot. It's a full wall off. It's a little bit annoying. Might force 1 or 2 defensive warpins, but that is it for now.
And
I love this.
Oz is taking, I guess, a bit too much time, and it's starting to look to me like Jaedong has successfully defended this. There's the big surround. Good force fields by Oz. Zealot's not able to do anything. Sentry's going to try to tickle these Zerglings to death, and eventually it might work, but I think it's pretty clear here that Oz has been swarmed.
He can still recall out if he really wants to, but he has to be careful because his Mothership Core is running scary low on HP. Right now it almost comes to the point where if it recalls in range of 2 queens, it might still fall. But Oz has been going up to 42 pro, 44 now even behind this. Twilight Council going down as well. And Gavin, so it's a 5-gate pressure opening while still macro behind it.
So Oz is taking a worker lead. Jaedong's going to try once again with a counterattack. And also trying to shut down the pylon out here in the middle of the map. He might be able to kill one of these gateways, but there's a secondary wall behind it. 1 force field is all Oz is going to need.
Okay, he's dropping the force field already.
Oh no, it's not a perfect force field,
right
and the
now.
Lings do squeeze through. They might kill a sentry.
Oh, so close, not close enough. Meanwhile, these Lings try to get an engagement over here as well. But
Oz does recall back, and he says, all right, well, I guess I got to go back home. So this is a successful defense for Jaedong, but I wonder if he's in a good position. He is only now able to pass Oz in the worker count, 50 drones to well, 50 probes, so it is even.
You know what was so important that before this attack really started, that Jaedong squeezed that drone south and did go up to 3 bases at least, because if he would just now start at hatchery, it would get really dicey, but right now it's up and running already. Sure, it wasn't saturated yet, but that's just a matter of time. Within a minute or so, he should have plenty of probes on it. So the fact that Oz was never able to pick up that hatch was a really, really nice victory for Jaedong.
You know, Kev, I sort of like the position that Oz has gotten himself into. We're going to see another big Zergling fight here. Lings on sentries and zealots. They're going to get some kills, but not that many. And the Zergling count of Jaedong now hurting. Oz is just going to go up to a 3rd base. He's got his Templar archives coming down. His +1's finishing. Charge is finishing. So Oz is looking like he wants to play a Zealot Archon style into this sort of mass Zergling play from Jaedong. Now we do see the Roach Horn and +1 range attack, so a Roach switch is coming.
Not a single Stalker was made this day, man.
And turns out it's working out okay for Oz, at least thus far. Income-wise, we see a very close, nearly even game. Army supply-wise, we see a very close, nearly even game. So it's impossible to pick a leader right now.
Yeah, above all, it's gonna... I don't know, like I find these kind of styles really hard to identify. A couple of icons are going to be extremely good against this well-upgraded Link style, but the moment the Roach count goes very high, it's going to be very tough again. There is no robotics facility on the map. Charge, of course, is very good. Force fields are going to be very important. A couple of Links trying to run into the natural once more, but Oz is on top of that. I don't know, like above all, if Jaedong gets really good creep spread, I think it's going to be really hard for Oz to make this style work, because Roaches can kite for days on creep against this army composition.
Yeah, it's going to be all about force field and charge. And possibly Psionic Storm, which I don't know if I've seen that researched yet or not.
No, I don't think he has it.
The Zealots and the Archons pushing across the bottom half of the map. The army of Jaedong.
Uh-oh, a couple of Overlords exposed. If Jaedong loses all 3 Overlords, he might be supply blocked for a little while.
Oh, here we go. Roaches are going to kite, just like you were talking about. I don't think Oz has enough of an army here. He is going to get some great force fields down, trapping a lot of these Roaches. But there's only 2 Archons, Kev. I don't think
one of them is not fighting. That's actually a lot of lost DPS over here.
I don't think this is going to work at all, and Oz is forced to recall out these 3 Zealots. What about me?
That was a bad fight for Oz, a very, very bad fight. I actually felt it could have gone a little bit better if those Archons would have fought at the same time as the Zealots did.
Oz also being forced now to break down the wall that he had to build to defend against all of the Zergling counterattacks. And all of a sudden, Jaedong has a terrifying Roach army, and he's up 50 supply, and Oz is in big trouble.
Oz is in a lot of trouble. One of these Archons is going to fall immediately. Force fields will go down, but there is not enough DPS in this Protoss army right now to even kill these Roaches.
Yeah, he just can't do the amount of damage that he needs to do, and Jaedong is just going to counterattack right into the natural of Oz.
I love how heavy Roach heavy Jaedong went though after identifying the build he was playing against.
It's so key, man. If he doesn't identify that perfectly and change his build, then he's in a terrible spot. But he recognized what was happening, and he made the right adjustments, and Roaches just destroyed Zealot Archon.
Also wants to make sure that no immortals are going out, at least for now. Contaminate being used in his robotics facility, and Alz is forced to GG out. Jaedong